What is up, guys? Player One Gaming here, back with another video, and today I'm doing my continuation of Big Ten football 2019 predictions for the Big Ten. I've done Michigan and Michigan State so far. Now I'm doing Ohio State. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but we just got out of school. Yesterday was our last day, and I've got a whole summer to make more videos for these because I want to make a prediction video for all the Big Ten teams. So we'll see how it goes. So let's start out with the third team I'm doing my predictions on is Ohio State. This might be one of the easier ones to do because Michigan State was a little difficult. Michigan was kind of a little bit easier than Michigan State, but this is probably the easiest one so far. So let's see how this goes. The first game Ohio State has is against the Florida Atlantic Owls at noon on Fox on Saturday, August 31st. They're starting out the season early this year. It's the last day of August. I've got Ohio State winning big here, Florida Atlantic. I mean, it kind of goes without saying. Florida Atlantic is kind of a nothing team. I don't expect, even if they are decent for this year for like their conference or whatever, they're not Ohio State good. So Ohio State's going to win big here. Next game is Cincinnati. So Cincinnati, it'll be another easy win. This might be a little bit more difficult than Florida Atlantic, but I don't expect it to be too much trouble for Ohio State. Their team is just too talented. I mean, of course, they've got a new coach and everything, but their team is just too talented to not win this game. If they don't win this game, they're in huge trouble. Next game, finally, we're getting into the Big Ten games now. The next game is at Indiana at noon on Fox on Saturday, September 14th. Indiana gave them some trouble last year, and Ohio State was very good last year. I mean, it was, I believe was it Indiana? I believe it was Indiana. Or was it Nebraska? I don't remember. Well, Indiana gives anybody trouble, really. I mean, they always give people trouble, but they just can't seem to finish the job, Indiana. So I got Ohio State winning here. Maybe winning by 2 or 3 scores. And that's my prediction. And we got the third and I think final non-conference game, Miami of Ohio at home for Ohio State on Saturday, September 21st. The time has not been announced yet. This is going to be an easy win for Ohio State. Ohio State's going to start out 4-0. At Nebraska looking like they're going to be better this year. But I don't think that'll matter too much. I think, well, it might matter a little bit. This is kind of like a dark horse team to beat Ohio State, I guess, or at least come close to it. I believe it will be close. I believe it'll be maybe a 1-score win for Ohio State. Or who knows, maybe they'll surprise us and destroy Nebraska. I really don't think that it's going to be like a dominating victory. I think Nebraska will hang in there for a while. Kind of like how they did last year. The next game, the homecoming game for Ohio State. If you saw my Michigan State prediction video, you know that I had Ohio State winning this game. So yeah, I don't think that this is gonna be too difficult for Ohio State. It might be a little bit harder this year than it was last year. Even last year, they kind of struggled against Michigan State, but Michigan State just made some dumb mistakes and fumbled the ball some, and just it was mainly their offense that caused them to lose. So, and I think the offense will be better, but nowhere near where they need to be, and the defense will probably be better. And maybe that'll help them out a little bit, but it'll only get them so far, honestly. Like, a good defense is great, but if you don't have a good offense, then you're just not gonna get very far. You'll be in every game. Like, you'll be in it till the end, most of the time. But you usually won't end it on a good note. That's why a good offense is very important. But also a good defense is very important. Then they get their bye week. So I got Ohio State and the Michigan State one. Then they have their bye week, and then the next week after that, they've got a Friday game against Northwestern at Northwestern. Northwestern's going to be worse this year. They're not going to make the Big Ten championship game like they did last year, and even if they do, they're not going to win. It'll be another situation where they'll face whoever it'll be in the Big Ten championship, and they'll probably lose. But they're not going to make the Big Ten championship. I think that honestly is going to either Nebraska or Iowa this year. Northwestern will do worse this year. They probably won't have double-digit wins. Maybe 7-8 wins this year. So I think that this time around, did Ohio State play Northwestern last year? I don't remember, man. But this is gonna be another win for Ohio State, and it'll be they did. They played them in the Big Ten championship. What am I talking about? That was a pretty, I guess, sort of easy win for Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. It's gonna be even easier this time around. Next game, Wisconsin. So, Wisconsin's not who they used to be, and they've got a lot of question marks. Does their quarterback return? I don't remember. I'm really bad at this. I'm not prepared at all. I'm just kind of going along with what I've read online and stuff like that. Wisconsin's not going to be, they're going to probably have to rebuild for another year or so. This might be another year where they'll improve, but they won't, they'll maybe win 1 or 2 more games. Maybe they'll make double-digit wins, but they're not going to be anywhere near the talent that Ohio State has. So this is going to be a win for Ohio State. And they got another bye week. How lucky are they? They got another bye week. Then they go on to play Maryland. Maryland is they're gonna improve. I think not enough to beat Ohio State, but they're gonna improve. What was it? They're gonna improve on offense or something like that. Their offense might be a little bit more explosive. Their defense, I don't know about the defense. They usually don't have, especially last year, they had a pretty crappy defense. And I don't know how much different that's going to be this year. So, but we'll see. Honestly, about Maryland, I don't really know how they're going to look. And it'll be kind of I think they'll kind of be like Indiana. We're not really sure how they're going to look. Or at least I'm not. I don't know about you guys. Rutgers. I'm going to be doing my prediction for them soon. At Rutgers this time. Will that matter? No. This is going to be a win for Ohio State here. And Rutgers, they're not going to go 0-12 or 1-11. They are probably going to win 2 games, maybe 3. I don't know about 3, honestly. I don't think that they're going to get a Big Ten win again. So Rutgers is, in terms of how good their offense and defense is, they're not even in the top 100 on either side of the ball. But they are improving, and they're saying Chris Ash, which is their head coach, that he's on the hot seat. And that's pretty obvious. He should have already been fired. After going 1-11, why would you want to keep the guy around? But I don't know. Rutgers, they're not going to be really good for a very long time. As long as they're in the Big Ten. I'm basically giving away my predictions for Rutgers. As long as they're in the Big Ten, they're not going to be anywhere near what they need to be. So, yeah, Rutgers, it'll be an easy win for Ohio State. It'll be like last year. It might be even worse. Well, maybe not. I think in terms of this year, Ohio State took a tiny step backwards, but not enough to the point to where it's going to affect their record too much. And Rutgers got slightly better, but that's still, again, just like Ohio State, not going to matter at all. So, it's going to be a dominating victory for Ohio State. Next game. I went on and on about Rutgers. Are you kidding me right now? Penn State. Penn State is, hopeful. I'm sure that they're going to get better. I don't think that they'll be in the running for the Big Ten championship. It's either going to Ohio State or Michigan, but they'll be, a distant third. Or not really a distant third. I shouldn't say that, but they'll be way ahead of everyone above. They'll be ahead of everybody else, except for Michigan and Ohio State. Those two, Michigan, Ohio State, are the two top teams in the Big Ten, on the east side, I should say. This is probably going to be like last year. It'll be close. This time it's at Ohio Stadium, so I don't know how well that's going to work out for Penn State. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Ohio State usually has more trouble when it's at Happy Valley, and it's not this time, so I don't know how this is going to go. Ohio State's taking a baby step backwards. Penn State's probably improving a little bit as well. So I think this will be very close. But I think Ohio State will probably pull out the victory. Again, like they did last year, they'll barely pull out a victory. And finally, at Michigan in Ann Arbor on November 30th. On Fox at noon. Sounds pretty much like how it was last year. Except this time it's at Michigan. This is not going to be a 62-39 game. It's not. I think this will be closer because, like I've said, they've taken a baby step backwards. Michigan, I think, is definitely improved. But this is going to be very close, and I am not in any way guaranteeing a Michigan victory. Not at all. I can't do that. I've said this already. Since the day of the game. I will never predict Michigan to win again against Ohio State until they can do it. So that's how that's going to be. So I'm giving this prediction to Ohio State because if you don't know, I'm a Michigan fan. And so, yeah. And I've said, I uploaded a video the day of the game, or even before the game was over. I was making a rant video saying how Michigan will never. I'm never predicting it again because I made the mistake last year. In the preseason, before the season even started, I predicted Ohio State to beat Michigan. As the season went on, Ohio State kind of looked meh. Michigan looked very good. I changed my prediction. I was like, I'm going to go with Michigan. And that was the first game I ever ended up getting wrong on. I went 11-1 last year in my Michigan predictions. The only game I got wrong was Ohio State. And if I would have just stuck with my prediction, I could have gone 12-0 in predictions. But that didn't happen. So, I'm going with Ohio State here just because I have to. If Michigan, this is going to be like the 2016 game. It'll be close, and it'll be a game in which anybody could win at any moment. It could go to overtime. I really do think that this is how the game will go. But it'll be like the 2016 game, in a game in which Michigan should have won a few years ago in 2016. But we'll see how it goes. It's at Michigan Stadium, which I guess it doesn't matter too much, especially with Ohio State. They've beaten us the last 7 years, so that doesn't matter a whole lot. But I'm giving this one to Ohio State. I have Ohio State going 12-0, going to the Big Ten Championship, beating either Iowa or Nebraska, and making it to the college football playoffs, where they'll probably be eliminated first round against, I don't know, Georgia or something. But we'll see what happens this football year. I don't want to. Let's go through the summer first, because once football season starts, I got to go back to school, and I don't even want to think about school, honestly. So that's my video for Ohio State. Thank you guys for watching. If you watched all the way through, consider subscribing, liking the video. If you enjoyed it, if you agree with me, let me know your predictions. Let's try to be civil to each other, because I don't want to get in arguments. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, which I'll probably do Penn State next.